Masters of the Air, the third episode in the Greatest Generation trilogy, explores how these airmen find themselves flying so close to paradise yet amid the depths of hell, resulting in some of the most breathtaking and greatest air combat scenes ever made. With some of the best historical storytelling available on streaming services, Masters of the Air honors both itself and its subject. The series masterfully depicts large-scale conflicts, perilous aerial battles, and the harsh realities faced by the airmen from all walks of life. It is adapted by John Orloff from the non-fiction bestseller Masters of the Air, America's Bomber Boys Who Fought the Air War Against Nazi Germany by historian Donald Miller. Masters of Air doesn't dedicate an episode or two, as Band of Brothers does, to recapping their training. Before they go for battle, our two major heroes, Major John Egan, nicknamed Bucky, and Major Gale Clevin, nicknamed Buck, celebrates. Bucky heads to the battlefield first and, months after his first deployment, tells Gale about the horrors of war. Anthony Boyle plays Lieutenant Harry Crosby, a navigator on a B-17 Flying Fortress who is about to set off on a dangerous mission. As the mission progresses, Crosby gets airsick and the mission takes an unexpected turn of mistakenly navigating the plane to the deadly skies of France, which almost cost them dearly. They returned to their base in England and had to execute an emergency touchdown due to damage to their landing gear. A recurrent motif in the series is the urgency of leaving the bomber as soon as possible in order to avoid a possible explosion. The Major is questioned by his superiors about the delay in course deviation after the landing. In an attempt to protect Crosby, he blames bad weather and technological malfunctions for the problems. The Major warns Crosby to get himself together despite this cover-up, highlighting the possible threat he poses to his fellow service members. For a mission to Bremen, Germany, where Buck is assigned to drop V-1 flying bombs on German U-boats, Gale takes leadership of his unit, directing the 350th Squadron's forward motion. Lieutenant Curtis Biddick, Gale's co-pilot and close friend, joins him on his journey of peace. The engine fails and Major Bill Veal, commanding officer of the 349th Squadron, has to retreat. The German Luftwaffe then launches attacks on both squadrons, resulting in 2 assaults and the downing of numerous bombers. Because of the bad weather, Gale decides to head back because his planes are in danger. Major Bill is devastated to learn that only 2 of his bombers survive their return. In addition, when operating machine guns without gloves at 25,000 feet, 2 of Gale's men sustain serious burns from frostbite. A British soldier suggested that bombing targets in the darkness is safer and mocks the Americans' more precise way of bombing during the daytime. This leads to some sort of argument and they decide to resolve this by fistfight. Curtis puts the big-mouthed Brit to the test. He appears like he plays cricket rather than boxing and is quite arrogant. Curtis blocks the initial blow as they circle. After dodging another blow for a moment, he unleashes a devastating combo that takes out the other Allied soldier. Curtis's pals join him in celebrating. The squadron, now led by Bucky, Kurt, and Gale, receives a new mission to Norway in order to attack some German submarines that are near their coast. With Bubbles' hands still frostbitten, Crosby, still at the risk of being airsick, is asked to step in as the guide. During the flight, he throws up so much into his helmet, causing the team some trouble. Kurt's bomber experiences engine problems during the battle. A German flak gunfire from AA guns had damaged his aircraft and had to land in a Scottish field in an emergency. In guiding the aircraft to safety, Gale assists him. Crosby, still unwell and having difficulty with the computations in the meantime. During the attack, he puts on his helmet and believes he has been hit since his vomit is raining down over his head. The team eventually succeeded in dropping some bombs on the Germans and head back to the base to celebrate. During the course of celebration, the lads race bicycles on the base to release some steam. They flee for cover when the bomb alarm goes out at some point. It turned out that their base is far from the bombardment in England, and from a distance, Buck and Bucky observe the bombs outside. They discuss how suicide is a part of daytime missions, and the possibility of them attacking at nighttime in order to reduce casualties. This scene marks the end of the 2nd episode, and a teaser of the next episode is shown. Well, that's it for the recap of the first 2 episodes of Masters of the Air. Thanks for watching.